Hey guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel Saumya's Bookstation. On this channel, I spread all the book love that I can. So if you like my videos, please like and share them and subscribe to my channel. And do not forget to press the bell icon so that every time I post a video, you get notified. I'm going to talk about the books that I read in the month of March 2018 and how I liked them. So let's get started. The first book is The Nine-Chambered Heart by JANICE. So in this story, 9 people recall their relationship with the young woman. Some of these people loved her and some of these people she loved. The good thing about this book is that the writing is poetic, so it's nice and lovely to read. And another thing that works in the favor of this book is that it has a certain air of enigma, owing to the fact that we do not really find out the names of any of the characters in the story. Also, whenever the setting of the story is talked about, the city or the country, you never find out exactly the name of the city. It's just a hint that is given, just a one-liner like the city without a river or the country with the hills. So that again adds to the appeal of the book. Now, what I did not like about this book was that after a certain point, I felt that the experiences that she was having with these people started getting repetitive. The other thing that I have an issue with is that I felt that this book tried to advocate the idea of living in the present way too much. I mean, it's nice to enjoy the moment and it's nice to not let the future burden you, but when it comes to relationship, you cannot put off thinking about the future and the stability of the relationship just because it's an unpleasant thought. I felt that the idea of living in the present was romanticized in a way that was bordering on unhealthy. The next book is Remember Me by Sophie Kinsella. So Lexi wakes up in a hospital bed and she thinks that she's a 25-year-old who has crooked teeth and her career is not going well. Her love life is also in shambles. But then she realizes that she's actually a 28-year-old girl who has straight teeth. She's the head of her department and also she's married to this amazingly handsome millionaire. Now, initially she feels that her life is perfect, but as she starts getting into the rhythm of her life, she realizes that things are not as good as they appear to be. She has issues going on in her life. Her colleagues do not like her and her perfect husband is not so perfect after all. So that is what this book is about. It has all the Sophie Kinsella elements that make her book so lovable, and this book is no different in that regard. So this book has laughter, friendship, love, so it's pretty much a package of all the warm feelings. The next book is The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. So this is a book about Chinese immigrants. 4 Chinese women have moved to San Francisco in 1949 and these 4 women meet regularly and they talk about their lives back in China. Now in this book you get to read the perspectives of these 4 women as well as their 4 daughters. Now while these women are very much Chinese, their daughters are very much American and they feel that the advices that their mothers give them are really irrelevant and they don't really need all that Chinese wisdom that their mothers are trying to pass on to them. But as they grow up they realize that they have more elements of their mothers in them than they care to acknowledge. It's a story about how you feel when you go to another country, leaving behind your own land. This is a story about the relationship between daughters and mothers and the expectations that both people have of each other. Basically, it has been written wonderfully. It is very engaging and you do not feel like putting this book down. Everything about this book is amazing and that is why it was a great experience reading it. The next book is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This book has been longlisted for Women's Prize for Fiction. So this is a story about a 30-year-old woman named Eleanor Oliphant. She has a job, she has a timetable which she follows. Everything is going right in her life because she doesn't really budge from her timetable. So everything is pretty sorted for her. The only one thing that her timetable doesn't incorporate is spending time with her friends because she doesn't have any. So Eleanor has this defensive attitude also. She has these invisible walls around herself. She's always on her guard, which kind of made me relate to her to a certain extent. I do know what it feels like. But then a certain encounter with one of her colleagues changes her life completely. It starts to unravel life for her in the most beautiful way. She starts to come out of her shell slowly and steadily, and the issues that she has in her life, she starts to address them. And trust me, Eleanor has a lot of issues in her life. It is very heartwarming and it is heartbreaking too. I would say that it amused me and saddened me at the same time, and I absolutely love reading this book. It has been written so delightfully. This book is a treat to read. The next book is KARI by AMRUTA PATIL. This is a graphic novel. So this is a story that we get to read from the perspective of a 21-year-old KARI. Now it begins with a failed double suicide attempt. So both these girls, Kari and Ruth, they try to commit suicide at the same time, but obviously it doesn't work out. It's a failed attempt. Both of them are saved. So Ruth leaves the city and Kari goes back to her city life, and Kari gets really lonely because she shared this amazing bond with Ruth. Her observations are very sharp about the people, about the city, about the system in general. The only thing about this book that did not really work for me was that I was not able to relate to Kari's character even a bit. Kari has a very different personality from mine. Her observations and her way of thinking is very different from how I think, so that made me feel like I'm literally observing everything from the fringes. I mean, that is how it is when you read a book, but in this book that was even more enhanced for me. But otherwise, I feel that if a second part of this graphic novel comes out, I would like to read it. The next book is Racecourse Road, a novel by SEEMA GOSWAMI. So this is a political thriller. So the Prime Minister of India is assassinated. Now the questions that arise are that who is behind this assassination and who is going to be the next Prime Minister of India. So this is what this book is about. The reason it is called Racecourse Road is that much of the action in the story takes place in Racecourse Road, which is the official residence of the Prime Minister of India in New Delhi. So this book, along with taking the story forward, covers a whole range of topic. It covers Indian politics, it covers Indian journalism, there is mudslinging, there is a sex scandal, there is a lot of things happening in this book. The good things about this book is that it is very engaging and also it feels exceedingly real. The bad thing about this book is that sometimes it gets a little too tiresome. Being a political thriller, it is supposed to be racy. Also, I felt that the font of the book was really small. It could have been a little bigger, I feel. I mean, it was a little bit inconvenient for me. The next book is Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda NGOZI Adichie. So I finally read a book by her. So this is a story about a 15-year-old girl named Kambili who lives with her parents and her older brother in a town called Enugu in Nigeria. I hope that's how you say the name of the place. So Kambili's father is very respected in the society, but he exercises unhealthy control on his family. He has a certain way of thinking, and if his family doesn't behave in that particular way, he punishes them in the most cruel and the most demented of ways. Because of a military coup, Kambili's parents decide that they are going to send Kambili and her elder brother to their aunt's house, and when both these kids go to their aunt's house, they see an atmosphere of happiness. So both of these kids, they discover a part of themselves that they did not think existed. But I'm not going to lie, it gets disturbing from time to time when Kambili's father exercises his unhealthy control, and the kind of punishments that he metes out to his family, they are certainly unbearable to read. But at the same time, this book is also unputdownable. You want to know what is going to happen on the next page, and you want to know how the story is going to go forward. It's a very good and a profound story, and I loved it. The next book is Spoke by Zoe Gilbert. Now this story is based in the island village of Neverness, and it contains the imagined folklores from this island village. So one gets to read about a lot of unusual events and some unusual characters. This book does have a magical vibe about it, which makes it appealing to some extent. Also, there are some portions in the book that are just lovely to read. But all this is very less in comparison to the part in the book that I did not enjoy. I felt it was disturbing for the most part, also confusing and weird in a way that I could not appreciate. So my overall experience of reading this book was not that good. The next book is Tales of FOSTERGANJ by Ruskin. So this story is based in an imaginary town called FOSTERGANJ. So a writer ends up in FOSTERGANJ by chance, and he is taken in by the quaint atmosphere. So this book is about his experiences in FOSTERGANJ. I love reading Ruskin books because I just love the settings in which his stories take place. The relaxed and sleepy hamlets are just a treat to read about. There are a lot of moments in the book where you read a particular line and you just keep the book down for a moment and reflect on what is written. The next book is अर्थला by विवेक कुमार. ये एक हिंदी की पुस्तक है और ये संग्राम सिंधु गाथा सीरीज की बुक 1 है. ये कहानी एक विधान नाम के युवक के बारे में है जिसको अर्थला नाम के राज्य से संपर्क किया जाता है क्योंकि विधान के पास एक भूमि सिद्धि नाम की शक्ति है. जैसे जैसे आप ये कहानी पढ़ते हैं, इस किताब में आपको विधान के अतिरिक्त और भी अन्य पात्रों के बारे में पढ़ने को मिलता है और उसके साथ साथ कई सारी कहानी की कड़ियां जुड़ती जाती हैं. ओवरऑल ये बहुत एक एंटरटेनिंग किताब है. मैंने इस किताब का एक बुक रिव्यू वीडियो भी बनाया है. So that was my March 2018 wrap up. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know how many books did you read in the month of March. I would love to hear from you guys. If you want to connect with me on my social media, then the links are in the description box. I'll be back with my next video super soon. Bye.